Martin, why the white suit?
I'm very superstitious. I spend a lot of time in war zones. One of my war zones, they put me back in uniform in the British Army in 1991. When I came out, I said, next war I'm going to be a civilian. It was in Croatia, summer of that year. A lot of lead flying through the air. None of it hit me, and I thought I stayed safe because of the white suit.
So, definitely down to superstition?
Nothing, no moral significance, whatever. I'm not setting myself up above anybody. I wear it in dangerous places. I spent 4 years in the House of Commons. That, to me, was a dangerous place, or at least a hostile one, anyway.
When you went into politics, it was because of MPs claiming expenses. Do you think much has changed since then? Because nowadays they still are. It's
got worse. I didn't know how bad it was when I was an MP. It is really bad now. But I think it has been so appalling, the exposure of the MP's expenses scandal, that I think things can only get better as a result. But if you ask me if as an anti-sleaze campaigner I've done any good, I would have to say clearly I've failed up to now, but I keep trying.
They say you learn from your mistakes. What's an important lesson that you've learnt?
Well, you won't believe it, but I was your age once. And I've been around since then, 100 countries and 18 war zones. But I think the most important lessons for the young to study, come on, you're at school. First of all, it depends where you are. If you're in about 20 countries in the world, you have to know what a landmine looks like, because they're all over the place. I don't think there are too many landmines in Lincolnshire, so you're all right. So what's the next and most important thing? History. We have to know, if we want to know where we're going, we have to understand where we came from. There's a very intense war going on in Afghanistan, and there'll be soldiers from Lincolnshire fighting there and dying. We have to understand we are fighting our fourth Afghan war. I mean, I'm doing this in a former drill hall. You can imagine the soldiers of the past. And I'm very close to the military because I used to be a soldier once. Well, we've fought 3 Afghan wars before, and we haven't won any of them. So I think it's really important for the young to study history, because then they'll be not so young and they'll be in a position to affect it. So that's important.
How did you get into politics?
I got into politics entirely by accident. I'd been a war reporter for 33 years, and some people were looking for someone outside politics, outside the political class, to take on a member of Parliament who was not very well respected. And they came to me, I didn't go to them, and I thought, I'll do it. It was a challenge I thought I had to accept. Everyone thought I was going to lose, including me, but I actually beat him by an 11,000 vote margin, which means that occasionally the impossible can happen.
Many young people think that politics is boring and is not something to follow.
Well, if young people think politics is boring or disreputable, let me tell you something about politics. Politics is going to shape the rest of your lives. And if you don't play any part, if you're not interested, if you don't vote, then anything can happen to you. We have a system called democracy in which we are supposed to pick leaders and representatives whom we can admire and will do good things. If we just shrug our shoulders and say that's too bad, then all kinds of bad things are going to happen to you and your children and your mates. And if you want the creeps and the cranks to run your life, all you have to do is nothing, because they're already going to do that. So I don't think there's anything more important for you than to understand that politics is your future.
So politics can make a big difference?
It can. It can make a difference for worse. It can make a difference for better. I know MPs who've improved the lives of people. I know MPs who voted for an illegal war. And they're all elected by us. And so when an election comes around, it's up to us to make sure that the good guys get rewarded and re-elected and the bad guys get thrown out.
Well, thank you for that interview.
Thank you.